What's the most small town thing you've witnessed? I lived in a small town. When I moved there, people would ask, "Whose house did you buy?" Quote, "A guy robbed a bank and everyone knew immediately who he was and the teller got mad at him. Left the grocery store and forgot a bag. Another customer brought it to my house." My town opened a strip club when I was about 18. My friends and I were all pumped to go. For some reason we thought it'd be strangers stripping and not Judy from math class and the blonde Aubrey that used to work nights at Wendy's. I'm from a town of less than 2,000 people. When I worked at the grocery store there, people would often drop off stuff for my family members because they didn't want to drive all the way down to our house. I no longer live there but recently got a call from my daughter. She had been stopped for speeding and handed over her license and insurance, which happens to be in my mother's name. The officer goes, "Hey, you're Donnie's granddaughter. I ain't gonna write you a ticket, but I'm telling Donnie when I see him tomorrow 'cause we're going fishing." She replied, "I think I'd rather have the ticket." Lived in a town of about 5,000. A woman walked into the DMV on a Friday. Saw that there were 3 people ahead of her and left to come back another time when they weren't so busy. The traffic on the main street of my town is so sparse. 2 drivers going opposite directions can stop and talk to each other for a few minutes without causing any problem. My fiancé took me to a popular festival in his tiny hometown. Some guy nodded and waved at him on the street. I asked how they knew each other. Fiancé told me he was the only other guy in town with the same name as him. Also, his dad told him not to sleep with a particular chick because she might be his half-sister. When we were kids, my family hated doing any type of shopping with my father. Everyone pretty much knew everyone else, but he used to be a teacher, so he had some sort of relationship with everyone. We'd end up being in a single store for 3 hours because he'd end up catching up with pretty much everyone we encountered. Known criminal ran for sheriff. Numerous arrests and convictions over his lifetime. His campaign slogan was, "I know the jail inside and out." Quote, "My dogs got out while I was working. The police called my niece's elementary school. She was a 5th grader. To get her to round them up and take them back home." I grew up in a town of 150 people. Moved away, but I keep in touch. A friend of mine posted a picture on Facebook a few months ago, tagging another friend. "Hey, Bubba, your pig got loose and is running around the Dollar General parking lot. Come get him." Quote, people were more surprised that they'd gotten themselves a Dollar General store than they were about Bubba's pig. Squirrel Festival and a new squirrel bridge reveal. One spring, the front page of the local newspaper's top headline was, "Deer finds grass in less than town name." The fact that someone had a picture of a deer who found some grass meant that winter might finally be over, which is the big news that everyone cares about. My hometown got a McDonald's in 1976. The town had a parade for it. Went to a wedding in a small town, like where the venue was at the bride's cousin's property way out in the countryside. While we were all partying afterwards, the noise attracted one of the neighbors. His name was Tater. His family owned a lot of land in the area and he congratulated my friend's wedding by making it rain on the dance floor and paying the DJ to keep playing. The party was broken up when a pack of feral dogs ran up and scared everyone off. I taught English in a small town in Japan for a couple of years. One day the principal said they were canceling classes for the afternoon so the police could come give a safety talk. As the product of the American school system, I was thinking drugs, gangs, STDs, bicycle safety. Some of the students had been seen riding two to a bicycle through town. We were reminded that bicycles were for one person only. Also wear your helmet and always signal your moves to drivers. Town drunk was paralyzed and used a motorized wheelchair to get around. I was driving home one Saturday night and said town drunk was passed out in his wheelchair doing circles almost directly in the town square. Had to call his brother, who came and picked him up on a rollback truck, strapped him down and drove off into the cold dark night. My prom was in a barn. Upside down face. A parade that consisted of like 3 goats and 4 children.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.